Hi everybody, I am here with Ellie Lambert and we are doing a Botox neck lift. I'm gonna let you guys start coming on, but listen, there's no replacement for a surgical neck lift, but there's so many things that we can do in terms of utilizing Botox to be able to like lift that up. So explain kind of what we're doing today, Ellie.
So this is actually called the Nefertiti lift, like the Egyptian goddess. The entire concept of it is there's actually a couple things you can do for your neck that's very helpful, but the essential goal is to tighten the skin and also the band. So she's going to demonstrate for me and I'm going to demonstrate. So watch what happens when we flex our neck. You see these?
Okay, wait, you guys. Just, I want to tell you first, I'm going to look ridiculous doing this, and I'm going to do this multiple times through the live. So if you're on here for nothing else than for humor, you're going to get a lot of laughter when you see what I have to do to get the bands to stick out. So here we go.
Ready? 1, 2, and flex. So do you see these guys? So,
let me get close. Let me get in here.
So these bands right here, these are the ones that we're going to be treating. So I want to relax these guys, and it's actually incredibly easy and very affordable to do too. So she has them going all the way through here. So it's actually a better position when you sit straight. So I can see them. We had the money shot earlier and go there. See these guys? So what's really important about these is that if you really look closely, there's a couple bands that are pulling down her jowls. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
So these jowls right here, this is what we're targeting, right? So essentially the goal is to do a couple of units right here, anywhere between 8 to even 10 or 12, depending on how severe it is, and then go all the way through these bands right there. So each band...
Like I said, you guys, you're going to get a lot of this from me today.
Her face is going to hurt after this one's done.
It really is. So, it's kind of embarrassing, but here we go.
So about 8 to 10 here, I would say, and each band usually takes about 10 to 12 units on each band to relax it. And guess what happens after I relax it?
Yeah.
It literally tightens not just her neck. So it'll soften these, so you guys don't get confused. It does not completely eradicate them, it softens them. But it does sharpen you the heck up at your jawline, which is a big one. So the biggest takeaway from this is that it really helps the jowling situation. It just pops it back to where it was when we were in high school. All right.
Yeah, so like you guys, so not only is it pulling here, I'm just going to re-explain what you just said. Not only is it pulling down, so when you pull down, look what happens. Like you get that kind of jowly situation. So these bands pull down, but then when we release them, they're all the way down here. When you release them, it just softens everything to go back up. So you're gonna be doing the injections all the way down here, but also along that jawline. When I have clients, Ellie, let's see if we can get you a little bit in the picture. When I have clients that come to me that say like, this is my biggest thing. I can't stand that, but I don't want to have surgery. Because listen, nothing is going to take the place of surgery.
1000%.
There's nothing that's going to do that. But there's a lot of people that don't want to go through having a neck lift done. And so when I tell people they're going in for Botox, and I said, the majority of the Botox that I get is in my neck. And they're like, what?
It's a thing. It's a real thing, and it's painless. I promise you guys. It feels like less than popping a pimple. And the longevity, to be honest with you, you only have to do this 3 or 4 times a year. It's very, very.
It's like every four months.
Every 3.5 months is where I usually catch people before it's completely gone. That way you're catching it just at that little break.
Yeah, I don't let it go completely gone. Like I don't remember the last time I had this done, but it was probably more like 3 months ago.
Yeah, and I keep my patients at 3 months, even for the face. But the neck is a very neglected area, you guys. So Botox is something that'll treat the muscles internally. It'll treat the neck bands. Oh, and what I was going to get at, one other thing you can treat. So right now we're focusing on the neck bands, right? But if you guys have it's called the tech neck, right? When you look down in your phone a lot, which most of us do, reading. The tech neck is when you get these ringlets.
Look you guys, this is going to be so pretty of me. Look, this part. That's the tech neck, right?
Yep, the lines that you have, the ringlets that you have around the neck, right over here. So she's exaggerating them for you guys so you can see. So the other thing you can do, instead of just treating the bands or you can treat the actual little ringlets all the way around. Same thing, 10 to 12 units, depending on how wide the neck is, to spread it all out. And in about 2 weeks, when you're fully cooked, so this is an important concept, it kicks in 3 days. 3 days. Full effect, when I text you to make sure that everything's looking snatched, is at 2 weeks.
Yeah.
All right. And
2 weeks. It's not going to be instant, but like there is, I feel when, especially this, okay, there we are. I feel like when we do the neck, for some reason, I feel like it's a little bit more instant than when we're doing things like the crow's feet.
Oh, it kicks in quicker for you.
It does kick in a little bit quicker in terms of like just helping the anatomy. We've also done in office here Sculptra in the neck when we did a whole live show on injections and the differences in injections, because it's a needle doesn't mean it's Botox. And so there's a lot of
very much.
We educated everybody on like, okay, there's difference in collagen stimulators, in fillers, in Botox, in PRP. There's a lot, stem cells, there's a lot of different things that can go into the face and the neck and the body that are injections, but not all of them is Botox. So before we actually start shooting me up, so I get this question all the time.
Side effects, contraindications.
Yes.
I read your mind. Side effects,
Contraindications.
contraindications. Good news, there are none. Not for the neck. Sometimes Botox on the face, because it deals with facial expressions and everybody's anatomy is very different, the neck is solid. You put it in, it softens them. It's just really the biggest thing is people's expectations, because some people really think that it's going to be surgical. They think it's really going to be no lines at all. No, it's not that. It just softens them quite a bit, and it prevents these lines from getting any deeper as we get older. The bands, however, those are just temporary to relieve that jowling situation and to tighten up the neck. But that one is not so much preventable as the ringlets are. Just like we treat the muscles in the face, those are preventable. So that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest takeaway from doing Botox in general, is that not a lot of people know that it's almost like sunscreen for the muscles. It's preventative.
I tell people that all the time. Like I started doing Botox in I think my early 30s. I'm 56, you guys. But I started doing Botox in my early 30s and it was preventative. And so now even
That's
when
why she looks this good. That's why she looks this good.
Even when my Botox is completely gone and I have let it go completely, I don't have the static wrinkles. So the dynamic wrinkles are the ones that happen when we move. You see, there's a lot of stuff happening when we move. But when we're just sitting there, deadpan, if you have the static wrinkles, those that are kind of like etched in the skin, Botox prevents those if you do it in a consistent way and you start early, so that even when my Botox is gone, I don't have any etching in the skin yet. And at 56 years old, I mean, that's pretty. There's not a facelift on the earth that does anything like that. So a lot of people, when they see, they're on my feed and they see this stuff, they're like, oh my God, so much plastic, so much. No, a lot of this stuff is preventative. It's preventative so that you don't get that kind of etching.
Wrinkly. We're delaying the wrinkles. We're delaying the crinkles and the wrinkles.
Yeah.
But there are no contraindications to this. I check, like whenever I have a new customer in, I check for autoimmune conditions, in which case it just might mean that it's not going to work as good for you as it would for somebody that doesn't have an autoimmune condition. But other than that, there's no such thing as an allergy to it. It's 1 out of a million. I've never experienced in my entire career anything like that. Nothing like that, apart from like a tiny little bruise, which we're putting a needle in you in your skin, which is
Probably
normal.
gonna bruise.
A teeny bit of swelling, which I really don't see swelling with Botox.
No, and I don't even numb, you guys. It's not even that. I mean, I've popped out 3 babies, so at this point, it's like.
And we can totally numb you if you really want.
I don't have the time to numb. It's not worth
tiny,
it.
so I mean, the neck is very tender. It's a very delicate skin area, so the chances of having like teeny tiny little bruises, that's just a given. You just have to be okay with it. So definitely plan in advance if you have a trip coming up, any hot dates. So that way, you can always use cover up the next day. But just the day of, expect it. I mean, we are putting needles in the skin.
So that is what we're doing. We're doing a Botox neck lift today. So Ellie's going to be injecting around the jaw and also in these bands way down low. And if you can just look at like me talking. Now I'm just like normal talking. When we get older, and I'll let you get your prep stuff done. When we get older, there's a couple things that happen to our skin, right? The first one is our skin starts thinning. So if you guys follow me for the stuff that I'm doing on microneedling, where I microneedle every week, that also helps to thicken up the skin. Retinoids help to thicken up the skin as well. But we also want to try, not that we have to. If you guys are on here for all the healthy aging tips that I do, because remember, this is aging from the inside out, which is sleep and stress and exercise and what are you putting in your body. It's all that stuff that makes your skin shine, but it's also healthy aging from the outside in. I do both. I do both of them. But if you are one of those people that like, you're not interested in the skincare stuff that I talk about, because there is a psychology behind aging, and we want to make sure that we feel good in our skin no matter what our age is. But if that's not why you're following me, if you're following me to live longer, I'm going to see you next week and we're going to talk about bone density. So there's a lot of stuff that I talk about as a gerontologist. And as somebody who has a dual graduate degree also in psychology, because the psychology around aging makes a big difference. If you've ever had a great hair day, you know, your hair looks, you just got your roots done, your hair looks great, you're less likely to sit your ass on the couch eating a bag of Doritos, okay? So your outside appearance does affect what you do with your day. If you're feeling great about your skin, if you're feeling great about your weight, what you're seeing in the mirror, you looks great, you're more likely to go out to lunch with girlfriends. You're more likely to like hold your head up high during that interview. You're not ashamed or not embarrassed about little things that happen. So our outsides are a part of aging. Our skin is our largest organ. If this is not of interest to you, I'll see you next week and we'll talk about how to get your bones stronger. For now, we're gonna do this Botox neck lift.
All right, I'm just gonna clean it first. So sanitation, always number one. Nursing 101, medical 101.
I tried like heck to get this necklace off.
Oh, you're okay.
And I can't. My Live Young hair, skin, and nails vitamins that are making my nails grow like crazy. I can't get this necklace off. I tried for like a half hour this morning.
Oh, it's okay. I got you. I can tell you tried because I don't know what is going on with it. But
yeah.
Hold on.
If it doesn't come off, don't worry about it.
I can see why it was
you'll have to move it around. Yeah, and I just cut these, by the way. If you guys don't have my Live Young hair, skin, and nails, oh, Ellie, I was going to bring you one, and I forgot to bring it. If you don't have my hair, skin, and nails, you can just DM me. I think it's HSN. DM me, not here, but when I post this, or you could, oh my gosh, yay!
Just your hair, just get your hair over, and then I can get it off.
Ah, that's been stuck on my neck for like a month. And I just got my nails cut because they were so long and I still couldn't get it off. Like, I don't know how people work with these things.
Oh, I have short nails, ain't no way.
Yeah, it's like everything, I was typing, everything was a typo. But if you haven't tried my collagen generator, the Live Young hair, skin, nails collagen generator.
Your nurse is a little bossy, she just takes over.
Yeah, it's fine, just move me around. You can just comment HSN or send me a DM HSN and you can get 20% off of that. I think the code's HSN20. Anyways, my hair, my nails, they're growing like crazy, absolutely like crazy. And I just got these cut. Real, unbelievable.
All right, I'm ready to party. Ready to party?
Okay, ready to party. Let's see if I'm gonna adjust you guys a little bit. I think that'll be good. Okay, yeah.
All right, so give me a flex.
Here goes the flex.
Oh, that's perfect. Put your chin back down where you were. A little up. Let me move you.
Really attractive here.
And flex again. There we go.
You want me to stay flex?
Yes, please.
Oh, God.
I'm going to have you do both. You're going to relax and you're going to flex.
Okay.
And flex. Am I hurting you at all?
Mm-mm.
What's the pain level on this?
1.
See, you guys, it really doesn't hurt.
It's nothing. It's really nothing.
And relax.
Okay.
And flex. Going all the way down, you guys, the entire way. That's it. Look, you can't even tell that I did anything. They're tiny.
So you can see a little bit of the product there, right?
Yeah. So it's just water with a product, which is why she has these tiny little bumps, and then by the time she gets in her car, they're all going to be gone. And while I have you here, nope, relax, I got you. There.
I wanted to tell you guys too, though, you know, what we're doing right now is not for wrinkles, like we said, it's for relaxation of those bands. And Botox is a neurotoxin. You can explain what that means. It's literally paralyzing the neurons, right?
It is literally paralyzing. To make it easier to understand, it is just simply paralyzing the money. It's
Paralyzing the money.
Paralyzing the muscle very temporarily. It just stays in the muscle and then it withers away. Give me angry or yeah. And one more time. Okay. And one more time.
Yeah, even if you can grab them way down there.
Yeah, I will. the most important ones are the ones that go up towards the jowl area. These ones are the most important ones. So I'm just finishing up.
People that are coming on that are like, what is this woman doing?
Like, what is happening?
I'm stressing my bands so Ellie can Botox the heck out of them. But you'll see over and I'll point it out too over the next couple weeks. Next week, really, the full results are in 2 weeks. But like, I'll notice a difference even starting tomorrow. That's kind of softening. Okay, I gotta like psych up for this. Okay, ready?
Ready. And go.
I almost want to cover my face.
Don't. Don't.
Okay. Ooh, okay. I need a break just in my jaw. By the way, you guys, I wanted to talk about as well, Botox is not, like you see, it's not just for wrinkles. My daughter gets it in her jaw to alleviate TMJ. So that clenching of the teeth, if you grind your teeth at night, if you clench, if you hold your stress in your jaw, that's been a lifesaver for my daughter.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. Oh my God.
Okay, stretch it out. I'm just gonna see it right there. There, gotcha.
Sorry, I can't talk through some of this, you guys.
Okay. Liking it. I love it.
Yeah. Way down there.
Don't worry. And this stuff, by the way, so you see how I'm doing teeny little pricks here? Whenever I do one little injection, it actually spreads to about a quarter-sized amount.
Okay.
So it's going to spread all the way through here. It is not going to just stay right there in that little spot that I'm doing. It's going to all spread out beautifully through the neck. It just needs time for it to do it. I got to go back in here.
Yeah. My bands are really strong, you guys. I lift weights, and apparently when I lift weights, I'm like...
Yeah. That was perfect. Can you do that one more time?
Sure.
Do it again.
Oh my God. Oh.
All right, I'm afraid you're going to poop.
No, I'm not. Ellie said, I'm afraid you're going to poop. But no. It's like when you're lifting weights and you bear down like that.
Oh, there's a good one right there. Let me touch that. Angry? I say angry, but I guess
Speaking of poop, you guys, I did a whole live on microbiome, on gut microbiome. And so I hope you guys go back and find that live. You can find that on my story highlights under live shows. So much information on what's going on in our gut and how. Somebody just did an emoji of like a weightlifter.
Perfect. I'm almost done here, and then I'm going to do a little bit. Are you okay?
Yes.
She's okay. Yeah, she's okay.
Okay, wait, hold on. I'm doing like I'm lifting.
This right there. Ooh, right there. Got you. All right. I'm going to do one little stop right there.
So,
Almost there.
TMJ, if you grind your teeth at night, you have to wear a night guard. There's so much stress that people hold in their jaws. To get one injection into that muscle that lasts 4 months has been really helping my daughter. In fact, one side of her face is actually bigger because the muscle is so tight there. But there's other things that can happen that you can use Botox for as well, like tension migraines. They'll give Botox in the scalp and also at the base of the neck in those muscles that help to, you'll still be able to hold your head up. It's not like you give 2 little Botox shots and all of a sudden it's like you can't hold your neck up. We have so many stabilizing muscles in the neck. But a lot of people get tension headaches from the base of the skull that come around the head. And there are special doctors who do this. Somebody just said, is it Botox? May I ask, is Juvederm? Juvederm's a filler. This is Botox, so this is a neurotoxin. Botox, there's also other brand names, right?
Oh,
so
yeah,
what are the other brand
there
names?
There are a couple out there. So there's Botox. So by the way, I carry all of these. I have Botox, Dysport, Xeomin. That's mainly used by the Veterans Hospital. And there's also the newest one called Daxify, which is meant to last the longest out of all of them. There's also Jeuveau. That one I do not carry, but all the other ones I do. And they all have a little bit of a different mechanism of action. They all have different onset times, duration times. The way I practice, the way I like to use these as a resource, so I usually don't just switch somebody just out of fun. If Darnell told me, hey, I have a hot date coming up in the next in the next week, and I want to have something that's going to kick in quicker, I'd probably veer either towards the Dysport or towards Daxify. Those ones kick in a little sooner and they last a little longer. Botox will always usually kick in about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So a lot of these, they have like I said, they're a little different in a way. And also, for instance, Botox, when you inject it, like I said, it spreads to a quarter-sized amount, right? That's how I know. I have very good control over where I inject her. Yeah. But if I was to inject Dysport actually keeps on spreading. So it's a little bit more out of the control. So it does beautifully on the neck, for instance. It does beautifully around the eyes, and it works just as well. But gosh darn, what was I going to say? Brain fart. It spreads a little bit, but it's a little bit out of the control. So, for instance, if you're injecting, or if I'm injecting the forehead, it tends to spread a little bit more, and some people feel a little heavier with Dysport at times.
Yeah. So I can't use Dysport because I've got like a trough on my eyebrow, which I think everybody does.
Yeah.
And if I get Dysport spreads a little bit too much, I'll get like a droopy eye.
Yeah. So it's a little bit more out of the control.
Exactly.
So, but it works fantastic on men, because men have stronger muscles. So usually for them, it's actually a good thing. And for a lot of people, some people, believe it or not, develop a resistance to Botox. So that's when I usually switch them to either Dysport, or I can switch them to Xeomin or Daxify. So I use them as resources to switch when it's necessary, not just for fun usually, because I always want to have something to go to in case something stops working. Or some people even develop resistance to Dysport too, and then I have to switch them to Daxify, for instance. So I really use more of a scientific reason to do that rather than just because.
Yeah. And is there when you're doing different things, like if somebody were to use, I'm sure, and I know that you're not somebody that would inject something in somebody's face, like in the eye muscle, to correct cross-eyed. But there are doctors, ophthalmologists, that is what they do. So Botox can be used to, paralyze that muscle to keep the eye from turning in. So many various uses, from TMJ to chronic migraines, that it's injected into the scalp. Another way that it's injected in the scalp, or another purpose, is for hair loss. So believe it or not, there are people like me who have really tight fascia in their skull. And what Botox does is it releases that muscle and gives a little bit more space. We've got these very thin muscles that go over our whole skull. It releases those a little bit and gives a little bit more space for circulation. So if you're experiencing hair loss, by the way, I did a whole live show on hair loss. Go back through my story highlights. I did multiple shows on hair loss. The one thing I didn't talk about, I talked about oral minoxidil, I talked about red light therapy, we talked about finasteride, different things that can be used, as well as shampoos and stuff. What I didn't talk about was the use of Botox in the scalp to release that muscle and give you a little bit more space between your skin and that fascia, and it helps with the circulation.
And inject some PRP while you're at it.
And another thing, I had a client a couple of years ago, a male, who had excessive sweating on the palms.
Oh, yeah.
It caused him so much anxiety because every time he went to go shake somebody's hand, he would always he wouldn't offer the hand, but when somebody shook his hand, it was like with water.
Oh, no.
It caused him so much anxiety that it was affecting his work. We got him in. He got Botox on the palms. He goes in every 3 months and gets Botox on the palms, and it has been a godsend for him in terms of his stress level.
Oh yeah.
Women who have excessive, people that have excessive sweat in the armpits, it really can help a lot of different things like that. I was doing a little bit of research before I came. So excessive sweating of the armpits, hands, feet, or face, like people that just. The traps, like
that's a big one right now, you guys. It was called Barbie Talks for a long time. It was a fad, but honestly, I get so many people, no joke, coming in for the traps because so many people that, especially who work out a lot, they develop a really good muscle here. But sometimes a very beautiful feminine neck can become very masculine because you actually work out additional muscles, and it kind of becomes more straight here, and you don't have that beautiful curvature. So you can actually put in Botox in this muscle right here and kind of even go all the way up into the neck right here safely. The only effect from this that you might get, like side effect wise, is that it might be a little harder for you to pick up something very heavy, which you shouldn't be doing that anyway. So we have the
Yeah.
gentleman form. But when you do pick something up, that might be a little bit more difficult, but otherwise it really relieves a lot of tension and stress in the neck. It helps a ton. So not only
So
do you get a
interesting.
beautiful curve, not only do you get your beautiful curve back, but also like all those knots that you go out to get massaged out, say goodbye to them. They'll be gone out. You just put some Botox in here. So usually I do about 40 units in here, just like I would in the armpits.
Interesting. That's so interesting. I mean, I always like when I lift weights, I never want to work my traps out because of that reason. Like I want to make sure you can still kind of see the collarbones and like
Yes.
you've got like a longer neck and the traps will kind of shorten the neck, but I'd never heard of that.
Yeah, it's a big
being
one right
used
now.
for that. That's amazing. Another thing is I had a friend of mine who had a tic to where she would talk and then all of a sudden it'd be like this and like
Tourette's syndrome.
like a little bit of a Tourette's, and it would she'd have like a spasm in the neck
Oh, that would help.
that would then lift one of her breasts up. It was like all connected. I said, you need to go in and get some Botox in that neck. It will take that away. She now goes every 3 months to get it, and the whole spasm tic is gone.
Takeaway, guys, Botox, it's a lifesaver for a lot of different conditions. Not
Yeah.
just beauty, but in a lot of ways medical too. Like the traps that I've been doing, that's very much medical. It's a very big deal for people that are constantly stressed out, hovering over their computer, even people that drive a lot for a living.
Yeah.
It really affects their neck spasms, their back. I mean, even me, like I have a lot of pain back here from injecting all day.
Yeah.
That's something so useful. I need to get something to do that for me.
And also there was one yeah, exactly. And also like so there's a ton of other stuff. It's used for multiple sclerosis, for cerebral palsy, strokes, a lot of different sort of spasticity type of
That's
treatments,
something that
right?
Neurologists would be taking care of. Dermatologists can take care of a lot of these things.
Eyelid spasms. If
eyelid
you know,
spasms,
we get the spasms every once in a while, but there are people that have chronic eye. Imagine how disruptive that would
That'd
be
be so
to have like a chronic spasm in your eyelid. So it's used for that as well.
Migraines right here. So fun fact, a lot of people that come in to get treatment with me, they actually are a little bit anatomically heavier hooded right over here. And so when I see that, did you guys know that if you treat your forehead and you are anatomically a little heavier hooded right here, right below the brow, there's a good chance that anything placed in the forehead muscle will relax the lines for sure. But the problem is it's going to relax them downwards and very likely affect the skin here, which will make you look even more tired. So what I've been doing is gearing the Botox more so in the scalp area right over here. So it gives you a ponytail lift, A.
Ooh.
B, added benefit, migraine Botox.
I love that.
Only 8 to 10 units right about here. Really gives you a really great effect. So yes, you'll still have a little bit of natural movement here, which is what a lot of people want. Less wrinkles, more of a ponytail lift, and no compromising to the skin right here. So all I treat for the lift is I treat right here in between to give them a lift, the 11s to give them a lift. The eyebrows right here, the arches here, the tail here, around the eyes to open the eye up as so, and also in the scalp. And that's what I did to a lot of people, and so many people are so much happier with
And
that.
the cobble chin. Sometimes like when there's a lot of people, and I'm one of those too. Like I don't know, I talk a
They
lot.
call it the orange peel.
Yeah, you get like that kind of cobbly, and I have Botox in there right now, so you can't really see mine, but I'll get like a little cobble here, little dents in there when
it comes with age. It's just detachment of skin from the muscle. And it does relax it. And it elongates your chin. It also helps with people who have a line that goes across here too. It stretches the chin downwards.
Interesting.
And also the DAOs. So if you have a natural frown going like this,
I feel like I have a natural frown.
so to release that, you can do a couple little injections going down right where the shadow is, and that'll snatch the smile right back up to being straight. So a lot of people, they have like a little poof here, or like a little a fat pad right there. That's something you can inject too to help with not just a downward smile, but also to get rid of that little fat pad.
Yeah.
There's so many little uses for Botox that are so useful.
Yeah.
That not a lot of people know about. That's what the practitioners.
Incontinence.
What?
You know that they're injecting Botox into, and you'll have to go to a urologist. But if you're incontinent, if you've got that stress incontinence, you sneeze or you cough and you dribble, especially women who have already had children.
They
Like
put it in the bladder, right?
they put it in the bladder. They go up and they put it. It's a special needle that they use, and they put it in the bladder, and it helps with the urgency and with that stress incontinence.
Little spasms.
And it helps your bladder. Like a lot of people have I have a client that says, I have a bladder the size of a bird. So she just like always has to go to the bathroom, and she sneezes and she dribbles, and she has to wear like, little pads and stuff. And I'm suggesting now, like, let's get you in to talk to your urologist and see if this is something. It will help increase the volume of urine that you can hold, and also help with that stress incontinence. So Botox, you guys, although we just went over all these beautiful things that can happen when you're talking about it for cosmetic purposes, there are so many medical purposes as well. So I get the question all the time, Darnell, you're a health coach. Why are you putting in a known toxin into your skin? And I repeatedly say, because it doesn't go anywhere else. It's not
It's in the muscle.
systemically.
It's not. It doesn't go into your bloodstream. It doesn't go into your lymphatic system. It stays straight in the muscle, and then it disintegrates over time. That's it. That's all it does. So it's very much safe. It very much just stays in that particular muscle. The artwork behind it is for practitioners to decide how the muscles work together to make sure the outcome is the most beneficial for your skin. And then, like, I'm a nurse practitioner, so I can easily do your traps. I can easily do your migraine Botox. I can do your face. But something like what Darnell was mentioning, you can also go see your urologist. You can see your dermatologist. Those people they specialize in more the tics, the Tourette's, like the spasms, all that kind of stuff. The more medical side of it. It's very helpful. It's a very, very helpful product that's out there.
It is. And it's been around forever. Misunderstood. Been around forever. People just think about, like, the Hollywood starlets with the frozen faces. By the way, they're not as frozen anymore because they're using a different type of neurotoxin, right?
Zeomin, probably the one that's a little bit more. Did you guys know that Zeomin is actually more of the natural type? They call it the more natural tox. It doesn't have the preservatives in it. So
that's interesting. How do you spell that? Is it with a ZX? That's what I thought.
Xeomin.
Xeomin. It is a more natural neurotoxin, and it doesn't have, like, a lot of the Hollywood starlets get it because it still allows your face to kind of move.
Exactly, it's more natural.
I have to be honest, I like a little bit more frozen in places.
Yeah.
Just because prevention,
Aesthetically, to us, it's more pleasing.
Yeah.
But a lot of people come in here and they do Zeomin. One of the biggest benefactors of Zeomin, in my opinion, is that, let's just say you do develop an immunity to Botox, and Dysport doesn't work quite well either. I actually turned to Zeomin. Give me 1 second. I want to show your audience something.
Okay.
This is really cool.
Hold on. Somebody asked, I saw a couple of the questions come in. Somebody asked, what did it cost to do my neck, to do this Nefertiti lift and kind of lift that up, do the Botox in the neck, to really get into those bands? What does something like that run?
So it depends on how many bands you have. It's 10 units per band, 10 to 12. I did a little bit more on her because we targeted a little bit more on the bottom, but on average, usually 40 units, $400. So $400. It is costly, but it depends on how much you want. Some people have ringlets, like I have 2. So I would do 10 units per ringlet, and that would be $220.
Yeah.
It depends. It all depends on your anatomy, and it depends on, and that's on the lower spectrum, of the lower price point, by the way. So it does run a little bit, but it's worth it. It really, especially if it's helpful for you medically, like there's no price for that. So back to this really quick. I got a model for you guys of Zeomin. This here, this is actually what Botox and Dysport look like. So oftentimes what happens is that when people develop an immunity to this, the body starts recognizing these receptors, okay? So the body knows how to fight this at one point, and so the person stops reacting to Botox. My usual red flags is when the person says, hey, I noticed that my Botox is wearing off, full dosing, like say I'm dosing them well, they have like 40 units in their face or 50, and it's not lasting, it's going away. So after about a month, which it should last about at least 2.5, 3 months, 4 months if it's really great, that's my red flag. Or like when I keep doing little touch-ups and it still doesn't work, so I assume that most likely they've developed a resistance. So what I do is I switch them to Zeomin, because that one does not have receptors, and now the body is not going to recognize it.
Wow.
So the body will most likely recognize this one. It'll be very strong and very good, but the only downside of this one is that it doesn't quite last. It doesn't quite last as long as Botox does, because it doesn't have the preservatives. See, these are the preservatives. So there's always kind of like a pro and con, which I educate my patient very thoroughly about this kind of stuff too.
Yeah.
So they really understand the value of it. the efficiency of it and a very realistic and honest opinion about how all of it works and how much it all costs.
Yeah. And listen, anytime that you're going to do something to your face, it is a personal choice. We're not saying this is what you should do, but to be educated in terms of like all of the multiple uses of it. You guys do it. Okay, we're back. Sorry. We have like a little bit of a poor connection. But just to be able to educate, you know, a lot of people, there's such a bad stigma about Botox because they think it's not aging gracefully. But there's so many medical uses for it. It's FDA approved for so many different things. It's been around forever. There's this negative stigma about, you know, what just the Hollywood starlet of it and not wanting to age gracefully. I feel at this age, at 56, I'm aging as gracefully as like a New York ballerina because I'm educated in what I'm personally choosing for my own self-esteem, my own body, and the aging process and all of the things that happen to us as we age. Your self-esteem is a very big part of that.
It's a very big deal.
We face the world face forward. It is the first thing that people see on us. And so
you only have one face.
If it makes you feel better, go for it. But be very educated about it. Make sure you're going to the right person. What should they look for when they're going?
You want to make sure to look at their social media. Their reviews are a big deal. Their Yelp, their Google, to see what people are saying about them. Don't let one little review steer you the wrong way, because everybody has a different preference, style, and you know, things happen. But I would say, like, for instance, you see my face. Personally, I don't think I look overdone. I'm not overfilled. My lips are not
How
huge.
old are you, Ellie?
34.
34.
And,
you have beautiful skin.
Thank you. I take care of it a lot at home, a lot of home care. I don't do too many procedures, to be honest with you guys. I just don't have the time. I'm so busy. I work like 10-hour shifts, but...
Talk to me in 20 years.
I know. Give me some time. Nobody's getting out of this alive, right? So honestly, for me, my granny always taught me one thing. She said that all this kind of stuff exists not to mask your face, but to enhance your features, to enhance your look, just like makeup does. You don't want to cover your skin up. You want to just enhance. And with the medical aesthetics, that's how I like to work. If anybody can tell you have work done, to me, that's not entirely great. I'll be the first to actually dissolve before I add more if I see something looks artificial. Yeah. Because to me, beauty should be natural, and that's the kind of practitioner I am. But there's so many different people out there, and everybody has a different sense of what beauty is and what looks beautiful. Right. My job is to make sure that, you know, I'm in line with the person, make sure that we have a good relationship, and make sure that we're in alignment of what we both think looks good and what's safe. Yeah. You want to pick yourself a safe practitioner, one that doesn't just go for the money and go for the product and just slaps anything they can in you, but is actually understanding of your budget, your skin, your face, your age, and is meticulous and precise and safe with what they do. I personally don't do anything in this office that I can't reverse in 2 weeks and where I can't adjust something. For me, that's really important, because I understand that people have different understandings of what beauty is and what they like, and I need to be able to alter it to their wants. Yeah, you don't want like a cookie cutter esthetician or nurse practitioner. What, you know, a master injector was what I always want to go to. I want to go to somebody who's doing this all day, every day. That's what they're doing. Not a side menu kind of thing. Yeah, they're not also doing a facelift and then doing a lipo here, and then I come in and they want to inject stuff into my face. I want somebody that this is what they do. Just like I've had multiple foot surgeries. I'm not going to go to an orthopedic surgeon who's doing ankle surgery and knee surgery and stuff like that. I'm going to a podiatrist. Specialty. Because that is what they're doing all day long. It's their specialty. They're well educated. I know the ins and outs of Botox. Every filler on the market right now, the safest application of it, you know, how to, like, aseptic techniques, all of that. You want to make sure that the person is really, really versed in what they're doing. Somebody who's a surgeon, not to say that they're not capable or safe about it, but they might not have an artistic sense. Right. An artistic sense in this field is the ultimate thing. To understand the beauty of a female face, how it should be a downwards face triangle versus a man. I talk about that all the time. It's an egg. It's like an egg sitting on the smaller side, right? Versus a man. When we age, it flips over and we lose the fat here and we become bottom heavy. That's what happens when we age. And my job is to not replace the heaviness back from here up here. And yes, I'm able to do that with some fillers, and I'm able to do that with different techniques and even Botox too.
Okay, I'm gonna see if that was great. I'm gonna see if there's any, I think we explained the heck out of this whole thing.
Any questions?
Yeah, Jessica. Oh, hi, Jessica. I did yoga. My yoga teacher training with Jessica. She was one of the people that was taking that with me. She said, sorry I had to leave because I'm in the middle of class, but I'm curious, how much did you charge for the procedure? So we think this was around about $400, about $400. Botox per unit can range from $10 to up to $15 or $16, $21 a unit. Are you fucking kidding me?
I am not.
That's a ripoff. You guys.
Yeah, that's a little much, but that's very true.
That's too much. Yeah, I don't think I've ever paid more than $15 a unit.
That's a lot. My last place was $13.50.
Yeah, $15 a unit was from a plastic surgeon. And that's why it's like, if I had a choice of who was going to do my Botox, it would always be a master injector, somebody who literally for 8 hours a day is walking around with a needle. That's what they do. Yeah. 8 to 12. Okay, 8 to 12 hours a day. That's what they understand the whole So my first choice would be to go to a master injector. That's what they do. Educated nurse practitioner. It could be a plastic surgeon and they've decided that all they're going to do is injections, right? But somebody who's only doing injections, that would be my first choice. My second choice would be a plastic surgeon because they understand the anatomy under the skin more than a dermatologist. A dermatologist is the skin. Skin diseases and stuff like that. So when you go to a dermatologist, that wouldn't be my first choice on going to an injector. It would be master injector, plastic surgeon who understands the anatomy under that, and then a dermatologist.
And then there's also registered nurses that do this. I'm a nurse practitioner, so I actually have prescription capabilities as well. I'm very close to being a doctor essentially. So the higher the education, the more benefits, because the person will be more understanding of everything, medical along with beauty as well.
Somebody said they look the same in the eyes. I guess we look the same. We both have a little winged eyeliner on today. I noticed that. Was that it?
That's my staple too.
Is there for craft's sake too said, is there a specific type of Botox for migraines?
No, we can use any of them. Any of the ones I mentioned. There's Botox, Dysport, Daxify, Xeomin. You can use any of the above, whichever one you prefer.
Love that.
And they're all different prices too, so I can cater to whatever works with people's budgets.
So if you've got a migraine, you probably want to do the one that kicks in the fastest.
1000%. So
yeah.
Dysport or Daxify.
And then lifestyle clothes and kids. That's such a cute handle.
What is Xeomin good for?
Yeah, what is it good for?
Xeomin is good for everything that regular Botox is good for. It does the exact same stuff. So it's good for beauty, it's good for any of the traps, and you can use any of them anywhere. But I actually prefer to be a little bit more on the safe spectrum about it. Like I said, that's why if I was going to do Dysport, not always a great idea on the forehead, but a wonderful idea here, right? Because it's going to spread, and you want that spread because it's a really big muscle.
And I would imagine if you're doing a neurotoxin in the scalp for hair loss, like you'd want that to spread a little bit better. Right. That's so interesting. Okay, what about a vampire? Christine 1512 said yes. What about vampire faces?
I think she meant vampire facials. So
yeah, vampire faces.
That's a completely different treatment. That one is called microneedling. So crash course, ready? Microneedling. It's a massager pen. I put on a plastic cap with teeny little needles. I numb your face so you don't feel anything. I wash it, sanitize it, and then I run my massage pen through your skin with some gel, so it'll help me glide.
Very much like how I do microneedling at home, you guys, with the hyaluronic acid and the Dr. Penna M8. If you missed those lives, make sure that you go to those live feedbacks. Okay, go ahead.
And then, so that one's a simple one. You can do the simple one, which is a little less money. And then there's a more expensive version where I would draw her blood. And I would take the red blood and I would spin it out in my centrifuge and separate the red blood from the clear plasma and use that plasma to squirt on her skin. I'm not injecting anything, although I could. Squirt it on the skin and then massage that in. That'll make her heal 20 times faster. It's way more strong and powerful for stem cells. It helps growth factors and your collagen, and it's just more of a powerful treatment. So for somebody like me, I can get away with doing the regular. For somebody that's in their 60s, 70s that really need like a bigger kick, and more helpful in the healing process, because healing gets delayed as we age as well. So that's something that'll stimulate healing a lot faster too.
And also too, though, I think the older you get, the more result that you can get, not only in putting it on topically on the skin, the PRP and microneedling, but injecting it right under the surface. Oh, yeah. I've done that before as well. I think I filmed that for YouTube or something. Okay, that was the same thing. The PRP facial, migraines. See what Botox for migraine? I think we've covered everything. We're gonna get off of here early. Okay, let's see. I want to just get to the bottom. Sorry, so just in case new things start coming in. Okay, so for those of you just joining, you'll want to go back and replay this,
we'll
right?
Save this.
We'll save this. I'm going to invite you on as a collaborator so that you can answer questions as well.
Okay.
But what Ellie did was.
What about peanuts wrinkles? Okay.
But what about peanut?
I think penis wrinkles. I think that's what that was about. If I'm
Let's hope that that's not the question.
that's the thing.
You know, I had a stripper on my show before.
No.
Yeah.
Was that recent?
It was a couple months ago. I had Natalie Nidham on, and we were talking about, I forgot even what we were talking about.
Stripper life?
No, it was something peptides. We were talking about peptides with Natalie Nidham. By the way, I'm doing a peptide BPC 157 into my shoulder, and I feel like it's healing my shoulder. I give myself an injection every day.
You have an injury there?
I've had an injury for a while from weightlifting, and it comes and goes, and I've been doing that. But I had Natalie Nidham on the show, again, in my replays. You guys go to my stories, my highlighted stories under live shows, you'll see it there. But it was all on peptides, and a nurse practitioner that I am friends with kept asking to come on, and then sent me a message on Instagram saying, you know, can I please come on? I have some really great questions. I invited her on. Somebody had hacked her account, and it was a full-on naked man.
Oh, that stripper.
That stripper.
I thought you meant like there's a...
No, I had like a streaker. I had like
streaker,
and I had to like on live, on my Instagram live. I had to like...
that could have gone viral. That could have gone viral.
I had to edit it out. I didn't know if that was going to be traumatic for anybody, so I didn't post the live because it was like, I mean...
Yeah.
Graphic, and so we instantly got off, and then we had to get back on, and I had to edit that out. But
there's something called scrotox where you can put it in the scrotum to release the wrinkles. Maybe that's
well, there you go.
I don't know if that's
something called
scrotox.
Scrotox. I imagine that's very popular among the men for
like for men who want to have a smoother appearance of their scrotum. It's something called scrotox where you can inject some Botox in the skin, and it'll make it a lot more smooth. So that's more of just a
Do they do that for female genitalia? Interesting.
Scrotox is the one that's been the most popular one.
Scrotox.
Females usually go for the lasers, more like.
Yeah, that's so interesting. Oh my gosh! Well, now we just found another use for Botox, right? Okay, everybody. I think let's get off of here for now. I think we
finish you up.
Yeah, we'll finish you up. But anyways, this is what's going to go on. Throughout the day. I'm going to show you guys in the next couple of days. I'm going to be doing some stories, and then I want to be able to still microneedle over the top of this because it's no filler. There's nothing moving around.
She can safely do that. You wouldn't want to do that on the face though. Do not do that on the face immediately after. But the next, I can massage her right now. I can touch this. Nothing bad's going to happen if I move this around. However, you do not want to do that on the face right after Botox. You want to not touch it actually for 4 to 6 hours.
So I might see you guys tomorrow at 12 noon, and I might talk about neck treatments. That's what I'm going to do. You guys, I'm going to see you tomorrow at 12 noon, and we're going to talk about all of the multiple treatments that we can do to make the neck look younger. So we'll talk about having a neck lift. We'll talk about red light therapy. I've got the red light therapy neck and décolletage thing. We'll talk about Sculptra in the neck. We'll talk about microneedling. We'll talk about radius. We'll talk about the Botox that we just did for the Nefertiti lift for the bands.
Can I throw in the new procedure that I have too?
Yes, let's talk about the new procedure.
Yeah,
I can't wait to come back and do it here. Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna basically crash course this too to make it very easy to understand. This is the coolest thing you guys might love. So fillers, you guys know regular fillers as Juvederm, Restylane fillers. There's the new RHA fillers. Well, not everybody wants the hyaluronic acid fillers in their skin because there are some risks that come along with that. For instance, in the under eyes. Not everybody is a candidate for an under eye filler because this stuff, if you're too hollow, this stuff can actually swim in there and clump and move.
Yeah.
So people have to have some kind of alternative. Well, what I just invested in was a new procedure. So imagine I take her blood, I draw her blood, I take a vial of it, one vial. Okay, 11 mLs, it's about this big. and then I put it in my centrifuge and I spin it out so I can get the red blood and then the clear plasma. The red blood gets trashed. The plasma I draw up, and then I put it in a warmer at 100 degrees Celsius. It cooks it into a butter-like consistency. After which,
without killing anything.
No, it literally just solidifies the PRP. It's still soft though, but it solidifies it so it's not liquid anymore. And then I put it in a cooling container for about 2 minutes, which cools it. And then I take this PRP and I draw up, guess how many syringes I can draw up from one little vial of blood? 6. I can draw.
What?
6 syringes.
Wow.
So when people buy fillers, right? One syringe can cost upwards of like $700, $800.
Filler is expensive, you guys. Filler is way more expensive than Botox.
Yeah, it adds up quite a bit, and you usually need multiple syringes to get the desired look, desired effect, or at the very least not at the same time, but over time you will still need a second coat of it, but that's a different discussion. So the PRP one, it's your own natural filler that will hold volume. So PRP liquid is something
that.
So if you guys want filler, but you don't want to put something, let's say artificial, because hyaluronic acid is already made from your body anyway. It has lidocaine inside of it, but this one is simply made from your own blood. So there's no chance of it swimming in there, clumping. It's much more safe, and you can put that stuff anywhere. You can put it in the boobs, you can put it in the chest, you can put it in the neck, the face, hollows, you can put it under the eyes, you can put it in the lips. And it'll actually replump your skin up naturally, and it's gonna basically.
We are so doing this.
Yeah, I really want to show you.
We're gonna be back. We'll be back with Ellie on another day because that takes a while for it to cook, right?
So it takes 15 minutes to spin, and then it takes about 10 minutes to cook, and then 2 minutes to cool, and then I have to draw it all up and then inject it. So the whole thing is about a 2-hour process. We wouldn't hold you guys for obviously that long, just the injection part of it, and then I'll do little clips to speed up so you can see how it all works. But it's very, very effective. The best part about all this is that it's PRP. It's your stem cells, it's growth factors that I'm injecting in your skin, and it actually holds volume. There's something out on the market called Easy Gel. You guys might have heard about it. That is meant with PRFM, which it's just a more concentration of platelets. This one is PRP. The difference is the PRFM, it tends to shrink. So you put this filler in, same exact story, same thing that I just described, but you put it in and it technically holds for a little bit and then shrinks down versus the PRP one that they just came out with. This one actually holds volume. If you do it twice in a year, you will probably get the results for about a year, if not over that.
Are you serious?
Figured you'd like that.
Oh my god! Because you guys, I'm not a big advocate of filler in the face. I have fat transfer. I like to use a lot of Sculptra, like natural stuff, because I haven't really seen, I mean, I don't want to say I haven't seen filler that looks great, because I have seen filler that looks great, but a little, I think it's been so overdone. People are overdoing themselves, and then you get to a certain age, and there's other things that are a telltale sign of our age. Our hands, our neck, the skin elasticity, different things like that, and I feel like people are being so overfilled that it's actually making them look older. It's making them look older.
So this is another thing you can do. So here's the pros and cons of this, is that filler will hold for longer because it's gel, and it'll retain water, and it'll plump you good. So it's good for like a little touch up on the cheeks to resculpt something. If you want like a longer, more enhanced chin, that'll hold for 3 years. The filler that I have now will hold that for 3 years. It looks like a chin implant. Go on my Instagram, you guys can see what it looks like. So that's something that can only be achievable with filler. This stuff is good for your skin overall. It'll give you that volume at a certain age when you don't want to do something that artificial. You can do something like this, and it'll naturally go away. It's not going to fully stay there forever, so there is maintenance on this at least once a year, twice a year. But it's so worth it, because out of one vial of blood, you get 6 syringes out of it, and you can put that anywhere. So you can put that in your hands.
What is the cost of that versus filler?
So you can just do
and what is that called?
PRP filler.
Oh, it's just called PRP filler.
And the company that I use,
somebody said recommend your own PRP versus Vitapure.
Vitapure, I'm not
sure what that is either.
No, I have to do some research on that.
I think anytime you can use your own, why wouldn't you just use your own? It's a vial of blood.
That's it. That's it.
And your body, it's not like you lose that vial of blood and it's gone forever. Your body is continually making blood.
Yeah.
So I would use your own.
It's your PRP, it's collagen stimulating.
Collagen stimulating, we like that. We like that. Okay, so, and what was the price difference between using your own PRP for filler, PRP filler, versus like, let's say a Juvederm or something
So
like
let's say a Juvederm, one syringe can cost like $700, $750. That's like on average what it usually costs. Mine are a little less. It can cost like $650, $550 some syringes. But this PRP filler, it depends. So if you want to just do one zone, it can be $750. Same thing as for one syringe. If you want to do your whole face with 6 syringes, that's $1,700. Right now it's $1,500, but it's normally $1,700 for the whole face.
That's much cheaper.
That's cheaper than, say, here, it sounds expensive, but if you put together $750 and $750,
Yeah.
for 2 syringes of hyaluronic acid filler,
That's what I was saying.
it's more expensive.
Filler is expensive, you guys, and a lot of times I think when people go into plastic surgeon's office or dermatologist's office, the thing with filler is there's such a big markup that the person injecting the filler is making a lot more money than a person injecting Botox. Am I wrong?
Right.
The markup on filler, in terms of like what,
How much it costs
and all that stuff, people are making more money. So you go into a plastic surgeon's office and they've got cupboards full of filler, right? And then imagine that that's like you got a cupboard full of hammers. That's your tool. You got a cupboard full of hammers. You get in there and say, hey, can you help me? I'm not feeling myself. And they'll say, well, everything looks like a nail. Let's just put filler. Put filler, put filler.
That's exactly what you do not want.
Yeah, and they're just making ching ching.
There's a place and time for everything, and a little filler honestly should go a long way. If somebody's quoting you like fillers on fillers, like 5 fillers in and whatnot, I mean it can go up to that much, but honestly, usually taking it one step at a time and explaining why something works, that's imperative. You should always be respectful to your skin, your aging process, being natural. Like that all plays a huge part in the beauty field.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
This is something that's really taking off with my patients. The natural filler. I just did one yesterday. I did one 2 days before that.
Okay, we're coming back to do the natural filler. This one was all on Botox, and we did literally a little bit of a neck lift. Now
I'm still not done. I still have to do a little bit over here. We just got to talking, but I want to snatch her up here so that way it'll actually pull her up on the jowls too. So I'm gonna finish her up in just a second.
Yeah, so we'll finish this up off camera, and I'm gonna post this to my main feed. You guys make sure you follow Ellie. Ellie, give us your Instagram handle.
So it is Injector Nurse Ellie, spelled ELLIE. That's it. It's really easy. Just find me on there. And whatever you guys have any questions, just message me. I'm on it an unhealthy amount. So.
And I'm gonna an unhealthy amount.
I'm always online, so message me with questions. If you need an appointment, just let me know in advance. I mean, I get booked pretty quickly the week of, and then I'm pretty open the following couple weeks to a month. So just let me know. I'm always here.
Okay, and I'll be posting throughout the week to show you guys how this softens up those bands in the neck, and it's not just for wrinkles, it's actually going to help smooth the skin and lift this all up. And then I will see you guys tomorrow at noon, where I will be talking about multiple at-home treatments, well, both in office and at-home treatments for the neck. Joan Rivers always had that quote that said, you can hide a lot of things, but the hands always give it away. The neck does too. So I'll see you guys tomorrow at 12. Thank you so much, Ellie.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.